Chinese AI and semiconductor stocks surging as Beijing pushes to outpace the U.S. in the AI race. Chinese companies also developing cheaper open source models for worldwide use, which could give developers and businesses access to powerful technology without the price tag of some of the biggest U.S. systems. Apple reportedly is testing memory chips from China for potential use in iPhones and MacBooks, a sign of how quickly Chinese tech is moving into global supply chains. Let's bring in Gatestone Institute senior fellow Gordon Chang. Gordon, look, we've talked about AI in China. This move by Apple, are you surprised or alarmed?
Alarmed, certainly. You know, American companies, they're not competing against Chinese AI companies. They're competing against the Chinese state. And Beijing is doing what it did with solar panels and a lot of other products. They come in with these open weight, open source models, which are very cheap, maybe 10% of the cost of U.S. And when you look at places which are important like Africa, China is taking over in AI because of the cost advantages. Now, the U.S. has some really important leverages here. Like, we have got much more compute, we've got the chips and everything else. But yeah, this is a really fearsome race, and we're competing against a very big competitor, the Communist Party.
Well, and, Beijing is also pushing more goods into international markets. We know that their economy has been weak. This is how they're doing it. We're talking machinery, components, industrial equipment needed for other countries. And they reported exports surged in July. I mean, do you believe that number? I want to get EJ's take as well on that.
Well, the direction is clear, but the number is not as big as it is as really reported. And the reason is that because China gives very generous subsidies for exports, exporters fake sales to get the subsidies. So the numbers are not as big as the total reported. But the point is, yeah, China's exports are increasing because that does show the trend. And that shows you that the Chinese economy is now completely export dependent, because if they don't have exports, they don't have growth, because we're seeing essentially, the very stagnant consumer demand. Matter of fact, you could even say plunging consumer demand, because people in China, they do not want to buy.
Well, what do you make of that, EJ?
I think Gordon brings up a really great point with the subsidies. And in addition to that, one of the reasons why it's really hard to tell, are these numbers out of the CCP accurate, is the fact that you have plenty of countries around the world who abuse trade of origin provisions. Canada is a good example of that. In other words, they bring in Chinese products and then they allow it to be repackaged, relabeled, and reshipped into the United States. So it says made in Canada, actually came from China. So you have to go through a tremendous amount of supply chain data and essentially try to calculate it all yourself to come up, or really to fact check, if you want to put it that way, the Chinese Communist Party in terms of figuring out how much are they actually exporting these days.
Yeah, that's a good point that you both make up. But the other thing with China right now is these reports, Gordon, that the Chinese are supplying the Iranians with not necessarily full munitions, but the components for the munitions. And then you've got Russia sending them intelligence. I mean, these are our two, let's just say enemies here that are fueling our third enemy, which is Iran.
Yeah. Every Iranian weapon with a microchip has a microchip that was either manufactured in China or was sourced by intermediaries from China for Iran. So that's virtually 100% of those microchips have some China connection. And of course, Iran's been using Chinese satellites for targeting. Those CM-302 missiles that Iran has been firing, those come from China as well. Now, fortunately, they're not that good, so they haven't hit any American ship yet. But, just a couple hours ago, you had Iran firing supersonic cruise missiles at a tanker, and God knows where those missiles came from. Probably China.
That's the most concerning thing, because, as we were talking about the commercial break before we went to air, is that, at this point, Xi Jinping is still supposed to visit the United States September 24th, which coincides with, the week of United Nations, the summit here, the conference here in New York City. I mean, this is a very precarious, I think, time frame here.
It is precarious because it's close to the midterms, and the optics of this are going to be horrible for President Trump and the Republicans, because here you've got a guy who's been, for instance, behind the fentanyl gangs, and he gets a state visit with, a 21-gun salute in the South Lawn of the White House. I mean, Americans are going to recoil because this is just horrible. Whatever one thinks of China, this is just wrong.
That's interesting. I want to ask you about Cuba as well, because they reportedly are turning to China. They've got the severe energy crisis. We know about the blackouts that are happening in Cuba. They're solar panels, battery storages. They're looking to China for help. We know that Chinese vehicles and Russian vehicles are all over Havana. But what do you make about this? Do you think that China is willing, it wants to help Cuba?
Well, it certainly wants to help. So, for instance, last year, 3% of Cuba's electricity came from solar. 2024. Last year, it was 10%. So that's very important. And this is important because in the context is the United States has put that energy blockade on Cuba starting in January. So this is a way for, as the Wall Street Journal said, a bright spot for Cuban electricity. Now, solar is not the answer to Cuba's problems, but nonetheless, it does help out at a time which is critical because of all of these blackouts, which are almost daily in Cuba right now.
I asked you about the munitions issue and the support from China going to the Iranians. What do you think China is thinking right now or planning as we've had all these reports about the munition stockpiles being depleted here in the United States?
Yeah, a lot of people worry that Xi Jinping will say, let's go invade the main island of Taiwan because the U.S. doesn't have the munitions. I'm sure he would love to do that, but the point is the Chinese military is not ready to invade the main island of Taiwan, and Xi Jinping does not trust his flag officers. So that's probably not going to happen. But what can happen, and I think probably will happen, is that because we're seeing all of these very aggressive activities on the part of China at places like Scarborough Shoal, which is in the Philippines, in the South China Sea, those are going to, law of averages says one of those is going to explode. China is going to back into a war. And although Xi Jinping may not plan it, he'll be involved in a region-wide conflict because once he's involved, Russia's involved, North Korea's involved, Japan's involved, Australia's involved, we're involved. So this is region-wide war. And by the way, once you have the war in Ukraine, the war in Iran, and a war in East Asia, that looks like global conflict.
And that is why there's been so much concern about munition supplies here in our country with our military because of the situation that you outlined, in particular with Taiwan. So much to go through. Gordon, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Gordon Chang, always a pleasure. We've got a lot more coming up this